it's very sad to watch such a video because I can't imagine the kind of emotional pain that this person is going through.
Makeup and hair does not make a woman. So I've been so delusional for all these years.
Just like growing beards, I also see people who transition to from woman to man, trying their best to come up with some facial hair, but that does not make you a man. There's more. There's more.
And honestly, I hate everything about the female experience that doctors and pharmacies sold me. And I wish so bad I could go back.
That is, I think that is something that should also be highlighted. The complications. People should not shy away from talking about them because, as you can see, this person is regretting even having the genitals interfered with surgically.
I realized femininity does not equal a woman. And honestly, I got influenced by other so-called trans women on YouTube because
I see in Africa, some people catching on to this bandwagon. They see these LGBT movements coming in, there are LGBT NGOs coming into Africa and giving education and information about this. And some people just jump right in. It's happening. It's a lot of people who are jumping into this. Hi, welcome back. Thanks for joining me again for another reaction video. Today I'll be reviewing this video about someone who is regretting undergoing gender transition. And this is I think this is an old video, but for me, I react to them as I come across them. So let's just jump right in.
And I know a lot of people are gonna leave this channel, but I honestly don't care. I've been taking time to reflect, and I went into therapy since I last uploaded a video, and I got to look back at my life and the last few years of my life, and I realized it's been a complete hell. My life has just went down the hill ever since I had so-called bottom surgery trying to be a woman. And I regret it. I regret it 100%. I regret to that I ever thought I was trans, that I ever thought I could be a woman, and I wish I could go back and not have any surgeries or medically transition or take any hormones. To be honest, like, this transition has costed me so much of my health, both mental and physical, as well as certain relationships in my family. It costed me job opportunities. It costed me a career that I could have had. I don't know if you guys know it, but I do have like 2 master's degrees and I'm a CPA. And honestly, like, this whole transition and my whole like trying to be a woman thing completely derailed my life. And
Wow, that's a lot. If you think about it, like the time it takes for you to do a master's degree and the energy and the time it will take you. She says, I don't know, say she or he has 2 master's degrees. So that is, it means that there was a lot of time and dedication and a lot of money that went into that. So you can imagine that all that is derailed because of this idea of changing the gender, which is a huge thing if you think about it. Sometimes we see this and we criticize and we don't see the full scope of what it affects. Also, when you see this on the TikToks, people doing, oh, I just transitioned, you might think it's just easy and so just as she was saying, just going to the doctor, having a surgery, and now you have transitioned. But I think this is a good video to show also the negative side, because I believe this trying to highlight the negative side, because all we see, like the TikToks that have a lot of likes, is the successes, counting the hits and not the misses. So it's also good to see the misses. So let's go on.
Right now, I have osteoporosis, scoliosis, I have a lump in my breast, I have 1-inch vagina, and yeah, so it's like I have no sex drive. I'm trying to do the transition. I'm taking testosterone injection at this point, but I can't grow any facial hair. Like, nothing is happening. I mean, obviously I still like wearing makeup and stuff, but makeup and hair does not make a woman. So I've been so delusional for all these years, And I just wish
And that is an important point. Makeup and hair and nails, they don't make a woman because sometimes I see people who are transitioning, that is the first thing they jump right into, thinking it will make you more feminine. It will make you more feminine, but that does not make you a woman. Sadly, it has to be said, that does not make you. Just like growing beards, I also see people who transition from woman to man trying their best to come up with some facial hair, but that does not make you a man. There's more into that.
my family and friends weren't so supportive of my transition, and I wish they sat me down and talked to me and said, like, are you sure this is what you want to do? Maybe you'll grow out of this. I have so much to say, and all the things that I say are not gonna be like perceived well by trans community, but I don't care. I'm leaving trans community. At this point, I identify as non-binary person. Any pronoun is fine. If you see me as a man, that's fine. You can call me he. If you see me as a woman, you shouldn't. I'm not a woman. I thought I was one, but I'm not. And sorry, like honestly, I just don't know what else to say. And I know some of you guys thought I was trans and you guys looked up to me maybe and like, but I've made a huge mistake that I cannot take back. I completely miss my sex drive. I miss my penis and I completely fucked up. Whatever, I sacrificed so much financially and like I've been through so much trying to get this approximation, like really bad approximation of female genitals, and that's what it is. And I've been delusional this time. I didn't want to admit to myself because I did an irreversible change to my body, and I just had to roll with it because I had no other options. And unfortunately, the trans community has become very toxic. At this point, they've gone too far. Nobody, my opinion doesn't count because I'm the one with complications. That's why transition didn't make me happy. And like, I honestly think I'm just as unhappy as I was
Yeah,
before.
and I think that is something that should also be highlighted. The complications, they should not be, people should not shy away from talking about them because, as you can see, this person is regretting even having the genitals interfered with surgically. I think there should be a lot of considerations that should be on the table when before you decide to like surgically go there and alter the genitals. They were working properly. You can see the person is regretting. It's not like you had a deformity or there was a problem. They were working properly, and then you go in there to come up with a close approximation of the opposite genders genitals because they are not the same. They don't look the same. They don't work the same. They don't operate the same way. So it's a it's very sad to watch such a video because I can't imagine the kind of emotional pain that this person is going through.
Transition, and what I really needed is therapy and help and not surgeries. It was really a software issue uh, that doctors and pharmacies sold me as a hardware problem, and I jumped on it and I was really brainwashed, to be honest. And as of now, I completely hate that I ever came across of this notion, the trans thing, and like, I wish I never did. I would have probably been better off physically and emotionally. Ever since I became a woman, I lost my strengths. I've been raped, assaulted. I became more emotionally vulnerable to manipulative men. And honestly, I hate everything about the female experience that doctors and pharmacies sold me. And I wish so bad I could go back. And I can. And I'm heartbroken.
Yeah, and that's another thing that it's medical professionals who are encouraging. I wouldn't say encouraging. Who advise you to do like to undergo surgery? They're the ones who advise you now. The best option for you is to undergo surgery for you to complete this gender transition. So these are medical professionals. They are people who I wonder if they have studied the negative sides or they have studied cases like this one and for my opinions right now, expressly is for this video. Don't just take what I'm saying here and apply it somewhere else and, start calling me a bigot or something. I'm just reacting to this specific case. So bear with me when I make some of the comments. So these medical professionals, I want what they think when they see something like this.
And that children right now are being given hormones and given surgeries. I This is just bad, and I feel like I need to speak out and be on the right side of history. I just want to put out a message that if you're considering medical transition, taking hormones and doing surgeries, please reconsider. There could be so many other issues. For example, for me, I was definitely misdiagnosed. I'm autistic, I'm OCD, I have severe body dysmorphia, and a whole bunch of other issues. And I just don't know how, like, therapists let me down so much and gave me letters for surgery just in 12 visits. Why nobody tackled my childhood trauma? Why nobody
So
even
after 12 visits, you undergo surgery because it seems very few. If you go for therapy, because even for other psychological issues, for you to be declared that you have made a step, you will have to attend many sessions for them to say that you have made a step in any direction. So, but going just 12 times and then surgery, I think that is rushing it. And it's sad because, as she's saying, now it's happening even to kids. She says she started transitioning at 24. So you can imagine like a 10-year-old kid, that is a person who has not fully, gotten even aware of themselves. Now imagine maybe the parents, medical practitioners encouraging this person to transition, like a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old. So you can imagine later when they are like 30 years old and now they start regretting. So you can imagine the kind of psychological damage that you will have to them. She said maybe you at that now you don't have the genitals that were there that you are supposed to have, and then you start now regretting. So this decision was made over you. So I said you are a kid, and then later when you start to regret, that is some psychological damage that I wouldn't wish on anyone. So I'm just this video is actually it touches emotions.
address that maybe I could have other issues. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I don't know how in the hell I was cleared for surgery. I was convinced I was meant to be a woman because I'm 5'1", 128 pounds. I was always naturally very feminine. But now my eyes are open and I realize femininity does not equal a woman. I realized I transitioned because I internalized a lot of homophobia, and that was a way out for me, out of my homophobia, out of my
Yeah, and that is a very good point that she laid across there, that femininity does not equal woman. The same way with those women who are like manly, it does not make them men. They are still women. So it even I have friends, guys who are like you see some of their behaviors. They are very feminine, but this person is fully is a man, and all other aspects in life, this person is a man, but just the little, as the person is saying, being 5'1", being feminine, that does not make you a woman. So I think, as I said before, there's a lot of considerations that should be made before you decide to go for surgeries, before you decide to start taking hormones, because later, if you start to regret, I'm not saying that everyone should be cautioned against this because they might regret. But I'm saying now for those who regret, as I said, here we are looking at the misses, not the hits. We are looking at the misses. If it goes wrong, if you decide to change your mind, this is the kind of psychological battle that you'll be going through.
homosexuality, I guess, because I was conditioned from early on that homosexuality was bad, attraction to men was bad, and that the minute I came across of the trans thing, I was like, that's me, yep. I was always very feminine. I always wanted to wear feminine clothes and present feminine, and I thought I was trans, but I realized I probably just was a gender nonconforming person, and that's okay. who knows? Sometimes you grow out of things. And honestly, I wish I waited. I had my surgery at 24 and I 120% regret it. I regret my entire transition right now. And it's like, I've been really struggling with it for a couple of months. But it's very hard to admit that something you worked so hard your life for and you were so convinced.
Yeah, I think that is even for like those celebs and people who are on the front line pushing for this. I think there's a good portion of them who are regretting, but they don't want us. The person is saying it's very hard to come out and say this was a mistake. So I believe there are people who have done it, like you undergo surgery, you have your body altered, and then you are in too far. So it's very hard for you now to admit that this is a mistake. But because you don't want to lose face, that's why you see a lot of these TikToks, people trying to justify themselves. That's why you see some of them making videos over and over and over, like how they are proud they change their gender every day. Because why would you do that if why do you need to keep up this thing that you have to post a video every time to get likes and to get positive comments? It means that you need like a cheering squad, to keep you up. Because if all of that is taken away and you're in a house alone, like this person is recording in their house alone, that's now where it hits you hard and you start regretting.
It's hard to admit that I've made a mistake. I have, and but the best thing I can do right now is to share my story so other people don't make the same mistake. I honestly feel like the whole transgender movement has gone really far. And even Sweden right now banned hormones for children. A lot of other countries are really, really screening hard, and there's like a long waiting list. I don't understand how in America some people can get hormones with informed consent and just get surgeries after a year on hormones. Like, that's insane to me. Like, I maybe there's some real trans people out there, but I was convinced I was one of them. But I'm not. I'm not trans, and it's very hard to admit it. It's just something I did again to escape the label homosexual label, and I'm gonna keep on making videos and speaking out about this. And I'm sorry, some people are not gonna like it, but it is what it is. I just have to be honest with myself. And
No, but if you are trying to escape the label of homosexuality, I don't think that having surgeries will do anything to that. I don't believe that having your body altered it changes any psychological issues or any internal issues. Just changing your body on the outside, it does not change your what is happening in your brain. But if you transition and you're happy, it's okay. If that is good for you and you're happy, it's okay. But now, for the as I said, I'll comment on this case. It's a this is a person who is regretting. So I am just talking about the regrets. This is the same way I'm saying, like having body modifications, having your genitals cut off, you start taking your hormones, your body starts changing. If you regret that, then that is a very huge step that I don't know how you can come back from that.
here's where my delusions have gotten me. And honestly, I got influenced by other so-called trans women on YouTube because I remember watching Princess Jolie's video. She's this like person from Canada, and they were saying that how they enjoy their new vagina, but later they're like, "Oh, I lost the depths. I don't even dilate it. I don't give care what you guys saying." And I'm like, I looked up to this person. I thought, I believe that surgeries were safe and sex was good. So many people have reached out to me with so many complications, but it's all just being swept under the rug. People are not being honest. I've literally talked to a few people at this point who had complications with peritoneal pull-through, and that's like the best surgery you can get right now. And people are losing depths, vaginal tunnel is tightening, but nobody cares. None of the surgeons that did surgery on me or gave me hormones or gave me letters, nobody ever emailed and checked on me if I'm okay, if I'm happy with my transition. They're not really researching what the surgeries and hormones does to people in the long run. I feel like this is too much. This has to stop. Like,
Yeah, I think that is a bad thing because right now we are in a crucial stage about this transgenderism and all this because we have not seen someone who transitioned when they were young and they grow out all their life until they were 80, 90. We are just saying this is the early stages. So even deep research has not been done. I know there are people who transitioned even in the 80s, in the late 70s, but that it cannot be compared to what is happening now. So what is happening now, we have not seen this thing mature. We have not seen the, as I said, in any research, you have to give it time, like for 100 or 200 years, so that you can see the full outcome of the whole thing, and you can now come up with an analysis. And but as you can hear, even the doctors were not following up to see if the person, how the person is coping with the new transition that they have. And this is, as she was saying, she was influenced by other people, seeing other people on the internet doing this and how happy they were becoming. And now she thought it would be the same for her. And it's sad to say because as an African, because I see in Africa, some people catching on to this bandwagon. They see these LGBT movements coming in, there are LGBT NGOs coming into Africa and giving education and information about this. And some people just jump right in. And you can imagine now, this is in the West. This person, at least there, they have good medical care. If you decide to transition, they have psychiatrists. But now you can imagine in Africa where we don't even have enough doctors, we don't have enough drugs, we don't have enough specialists, as I said, psychiatrists, all these people who to support the whole process. So you can imagine if you make a mistake, because as this person is saying, she made a mistake. So you can imagine, like in Africa, you make a mistake. They said the healthcare system is not working well. There are not enough doctors. There's a lot of problems. There's financial problems. So you can imagine what, because and it's happening. It's a lot of people who are jumping into this. So you can imagine in the next in the next decade, the kind of, there'll be a crisis. But I don't want to predict the negative. But anyway, let's hear a little bit more.
I mean, people should have a right to do whatever they want to their bodies, but kids are off limits because I, at 24, thought I was making the right decision. I did not understand what implications the surgery had on the rest of my life. I am now a medical patient till the rest of my life. I have to take hormones every
Mhm.
day. I already have osteoporosis because I wasn't taking as many hormones before, and I wasn't informed. Nobody was testing my blood for hormones. I was living with a medical doctor for 2 years. He knew I wasn't taking hormones. He didn't say anything. It's just insane. Like, this has to come to full stop till there is more research is done. Honestly, we don't fully understand where just gender, so-called elusive gender dysphoria is coming from, what's causing it, is there is other ways to help people with gender dysphoria, how similar it is to body dysmorphia, because for sure now I know I have body dysmorphia. I still don't feel pretty. I don't feel sexy. My life is kind of ruined. I'm unable to have sex. I don't have any sex drive. I'm getting some of it back now with testosterone, but honestly, it's just traumatizing. Like, I, I'm traumatized. All I can focus on is scars on my vagina. I've this last 7 years of living as a woman just added more trauma to my life that now I have to heal from to hopefully have a somewhat good life. And I don't know if I'll be able to, like I'm trying to, but one thing for sure, I want to keep on sharing my story. So hopefully to save other people from mutilating their bodies in order to find happiness. Like, you don't need to have all these crazy surgeries and hand your life over to surgeons and pharmacies to have a happy, healthy life. You don't. Like, I know some of you are not hearing it because you're so deep in the whole transgender ideology, but it is the case. Like, none of my issues went away. I'm still the same fucked up, unhappy person I was before the surgeries and hormones. It's just
Yeah,
now,
yeah, and that is what I was talking about. Changing the outside. It does not necessarily. It won't change what is happening to you psychologically, because, of course, like I know things like doing makeup. Some people do a little bit, plastic surgery to alter their face, and it makes them happy. But now, going as far as altering your genitals or taking hormones, you can see. I don't think it will have, let's say, the same psychological effects like wearing makeup, because when you wear makeup, the next day you can wipe it off, or you can do when you have a certain haircut, it makes you happy, you can change it, it's not something permanent. But for this one, as you can hear, the person is saying now they'll be a medical patient the whole of their life. She started at 24, so you can imagine this person has maybe another 50, 60 years to live with this kind of a psychological burden. So it's very sad.
I'm actually realizing I need help and I'm in therapy and I'm trying to find out why am I this way. And I should have taken definitely my time before, but what can I do now? Like I'm stuck in this body, like I can't do transition. I'm so jealous of people like Chanel Santini and some other people who can just like do transition, but I can't do it. I don't have any testosterone in me naturally producing, and honestly, at the end of the day, I enjoy presenting feminine, but I reject the idea of being a woman at this point. I never was a woman. I just got brainwashed and it did so much damage to me to trying to live my life as a woman. It was just so hard up the hill battle against my biology, against everything. Honestly, I just wish I could just express my femininity and not try to be a woman. That was the biggest mistake of my life. Bye guys. I'm sorry this video gonna disappoint a lot of people, but I feel like this is the right thing to do.
Wow. That it even made me sad. I thought I was just coming here to react to a normal TikTok video, but I like how this person has gone into details without hiding anything, or without putting it plainly, even like using the words like brainwashing. I don't like using that kind of word, because when you are talking to someone, especially someone who is in opposition to, like someone who is into this, when you start using such words as brainwashing, you talk about these things with people who are on that other side. These are the kind of things that make them to put up a wall, and then you cannot have any fruitful discussion. But I don't know why, like, he's talking about kids. Like in the West, I don't know why it is perceived immoral, like to get your kid at a two. But if they transition, even if you start transitioning them at 5 years old, then it is being pushed to somehow become acceptable. But if you get your 15-year-old kid at a two, then that's suppose they know that's just bad. That's just immoral. So I'm not the king of morality. I don't know how to go about this, but this video has just wow, it has made made me to even. I always criticize some. You can watch my playlist. I have talked about gender transition in other videos, but this one is the most emotional. It has touched me personally. But anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comments. Also, remember to subscribe so that every time I upload a video, you can get to keep watching. And thank you for watching this. Till next time, stay safe.